Let's talk about a struggle that is so deeply human. You know the one I mean? It's our constant search for solid ground, for stability, in a world that is always in motion. We just want to feel okay. But what if that feeling isn't some final destination we get to? What if it's more like a rhythm, a dance we can learn to move with?
Everything we're going to talk about today really hinges on this one simple but incredibly profound truth. Just think about it for a second. The very moment you feel like you finally got it all figured out, that you've found that stability, something shifts. The plans change, that clarity you had gets a little foggy. It just never stays put for long.
Okay, so if change is literally the only thing we can count on, why do so many of us spend all our energy fighting against it? That's the big question, right? And we're going to unpack it, starting with this powerful illusion that keeps us feeling stuck. Our journey really has to start here, by looking this illusion right in the eye. You know, from the time we're kids, we're kind of taught to build solid foundations, to seek out things that are permanent. But that very desire puts us head-to-head with the true nature of being alive. This, right here, this really lays out the core tension perfectly. On one side, you've got what we all crave, right? That predictable world with fixed plans, total clarity, and a feeling of control. But on the other side, well, you've got life as it actually is. It's a constant flow of shifts and flux and just plain old uncertainty. And trying to resist that motion, it doesn't stop it. It just makes the ride a whole lot bumpier.
So, if fighting the current is basically a losing battle, what's the alternative? This leads us to a really powerful shift in how we see things. What if we stopped looking for solid ground, and instead, we started seeing life as this dynamic, always moving wave?
And that brings us to the wave of becoming. The core idea here is that life isn't a state you finally arrive at. It's a continuous rhythm. So becoming okay isn't about somehow stopping the wave to catch your breath. Nope. It's about learning how to move with it. It's about finding your balance, right there, in the middle of all that motion.
Now, this isn't just random chaos. The wave has a rhythm. You've got these surges, right? Those are the moments of high energy when things are clicking and you're making progress. But, and this is so important, you also have the retreats, those necessary times for rest and reflection. And here's the key part that we often get wrong. The retreat isn't a failure. It's a vital part of the whole cycle. It's what allows you to rebuild your energy so you can surge forward again.
Okay, so this all brings us to the practical side of things. If life is a wave, how in the world do we learn to ride it instead of just getting knocked over by it all the time?
So the first skill is, well, it's a real shift in perspective. It's about seeing contradiction, not as some problem you have to solve, but as a creative force. Think of it like a dance. The partners have opposing movements, but they're not fighting. They're actually working together to create something beautiful. We tend to think of things like stillness and motion, or clarity and chaos as being enemies. We want clarity, so we try to get rid of all the chaos. But the idea here is that they're actually partners. They need each other. True strength doesn't come from getting rid of one, but from finding that sweet spot, that dynamic balance between them. That's where all the energy for growth really is. And this really gets to the core of it. The real power is in that uncomfortable space in between. It's about holding the tension. You know, fighting that powerful urge to just simplify everything, to collapse a messy, complex reality into one easy answer. Because it's in that tension that all the new possibilities are born.
So what do you do when the wave, inevitably changes direction on you? You master the art of the pivot. And this is so important. Pivoting is not the same as giving up. Not at all. It's about adapting with intention. It's about choosing how you respond to change, instead of just resisting it.
And the process for this is actually pretty simple. First, you just pause. Take a breath. Notice that things have changed, without judging it. Second, you consciously release what isn't working anymore, that old plan, that rigid expectation. Third, you check in with yourself. Reconnect with your inner compass, your values. And finally, you just take one small, intentional step in a new direction. It makes this huge idea of adapting to change feel totally doable.
So, we've talked about the problem and we've talked about the skills. But what's the real reward here? What do you actually gain by learning to live this way? Well, it all leads to this profound sense of freedom that you get when you finally, truly embrace impermanence.
And honestly, this might be the most liberating part of all. Letting go of the idea of forever isn't a loss. It's a huge release. When we stop clinging so tightly to the idea that things have to stay the same, we free ourselves from this massive weight of expectation. We can finally actually show up for our lives as they are, right here, right now.
And just look at the gifts that come from this one shift. You start finding more joy in the present because you're not constantly stressing about the future. You learn to live lightly, holding things with an open hand instead of a clenched fist. This lets you let go of that exhausting need for everything to be perfect. And the result? You feel a much deeper, more real connection to your life as it's actually happening.
In the end, it really all boils down to this. Becoming isn't about reaching some finish line. The meaning, the richness of your life, it's found in the motion itself. It's in how you move, how you adapt, and how you never stop growing.
So, as we wrap this up, we're left with this really personal question. The rhythm of life, this dance of becoming, it just keeps going, whether we like it or not. The only real choice we have is how we're going to move with it.